y'all, and welcome back to the Soul to Soul podcast. Lisa, Louie, and MBJ Live, healing your mind, body, and soul, and elevating your mind, body, and spirit with the mind, body, soul healer himself. All right, what do we leave behind for the next generation? What's your generation? How your generation contributing to and pouring into and building for the future generations?
What I'm doing it now. The stuff that I've been doing, I'm doing it now. And I don't disrespect people. You know, I still say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. I don't use profanity in front of my mom. I don't really use profanity. You know what I'm saying? There's just certain values that I have, certain principles that I have.
My dad do too, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, let down the toilet seat, clean up behind yourself. You know, just certain principles that if you don't have a mop, okay, get on your hands and knees and clean the floor with a towel or a rag or something. You know, just wash the dishes, dishwasher. I was just telling a friend of mine, I was like, man, I never used a dishwasher. Never. Because my grandmother, hey, baby, this is how you wash dishes and they're going to become clean. Put a little cap full of bleach in your water. Oh, I stuck with it. It was back in the 80s. I always loved washing the dishes. I've had dishwashers. I use the dishwasher to put dishes in it when it's clean. Or if I ain't feel like washing it right now, I just put it in there. But for the most part, ain't nothing like washing dishes by hand. Mm-hmm. And I've learned a system. My system was so great. Like I would boil water. So what I would do, I would boil a big pot of water, and I would put a little bleach in there, put the dishwasher liquid in there, I pour the hot water in there, and rinse off sink, and I have the silverware sitting in there, certain plates and everything. So while that's soaking and sanitizing, I'll be cleaning up the rest of the house. And by the time I come back to the dishes, the water been cooled down. Only thing I pretty much do is rinse the stuff off, because it's pretty much sanitized. I just wash it and clean up everything. So it's just, it's a difference. For me, the generation that's like this and still have those principles and still about, hey, respect, or trying to teach other people and show, no, but that's not how you do that. No, that's, even my kids, if it worked for me, like, no, those dishes not clean, so you're gonna wash them all over again.
Okay, so I know you say in terms of like how we elevate and how we stay elevated in vibration and frequency, and that's what you see. You understand spirits, you feel frequency.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to take it down a little.
Okay.
And come down to culture, because you say you can relate to everybody, you understand where to meet people because of their religious belief systems, you understand culture, you know that language, race, sex, all of these things were put into place to keep people divided. In terms of culture, because we talk a lot about color in this country. We know colorism and racism is a thing. I say it comes back to culture. Certain things we can just relate upon because we grew up around the same things, wearing the same type of clothes, speaking the same type of language, ebonics, slang. We, regardless of my tone, your tone, we may have grew up, knowing certain things like come in before them street lights turn off, go get the hot comb off the stove, stuff like that. It comes back to culture. Like no matter what color, no matter what your sex, no matter what your age, if you grew up amongst this that was set upon this culture, then that's just what you identify with.
Yeah.
So the culture of America. So diverse. It's the melting pot, right? I gotta talk about the country because, like I said, I watch politics. Gotta say what's going on because it comes down the pipeline. It affects our everyday lives, and our kids. No matter, we still gotta pay taxes, entrepreneurship, however independent you are. These are some realities and some things that you have to deal with. So that's why I wanted to, tap into them and talk about them. So my question is, in terms of culture, what's happening with our culture? What do we need to do Why you laughing? Why are you laughing? What do we need to do? What are some things, some issues, or some things that we can fix or do better? In terms of that, we know frequency, we know music is like we already know that's who we are, that's how we vibrate, that's how everything trickle down in our everyday life. And even outside of that, just your opinion on that overall and how we as a group in our culture, whoever, some white folks grew up in our neighborhood, they adapted our culture. Some of them didn't, and but what, just going forward.
Eliminate, alleviate, silence every corrupt politician, every leader, corrupt leader, remove them and replace them with somebody that's going to be better off for humanity as a whole. And it will help, I believe it will help the culture. Because if you have people in place that's culture oriented and culture focused and not just about lining their pockets.
They always gonna be.
But if you put it's people out there, and you put those people in position, like I said, you remove all the corrupt people in office, and then.
So we need to take our money out of other stuff and put it behind a candidate that we.
Yeah, that's for humanity.
That align with the values of the culture.
Yep.
Well, we could say humanity, but not all humanity values and principles and culture aligns.
But that's why I said somebody that's cultural. That's
okay.
Culture, yeah. So,
that's more along your culture.
Yeah, culture of even respecting other people's culture.
So do you think we have decent candidates, or do we need to focus on that, or do you think we just not voting? I know it comes down, because at the end of the day, like you said, we got to get paid for our time and our convenience. So whatever people that's gonna fund that candidate, they have to go with what aligns with that person that's paying them. Like whatever the salary is. Yeah. Like if you are the one that's sponsoring me because you believe in my message and my my voice, the power of my influence or whatever it is, of course we have to align, because what else am I funding you for? What else am I paying you for? Yeah. So we have to put our money behind a candidate that aligns with the culture, and I guess that's what it is. Where is this black?
We talked about this before. I've said it, that I would run for president, or some type of world leader. Because whatever you do on the smaller, you'll do it on a larger scale. I'm all about equality, freedom for everybody. Can we all just get along? You know what I'm saying? Can we all have a piece of the pie? And
but you've raised kids before. You know that everybody is not always going to be on the same page.
Yeah.
At some point, some opinions, beliefs, values, morals, principle, culture is not always going to be aligned. So you never be able to satisfy everybody.
I get that, but if you have somebody that's okay, so if there was, and I'm talking about I'm talking about a leader. Let's talk about this country. Yeah. Right. If you had a leader. Not forget the president. Let's scratch the president.
Yeah, it ain't got to be president.
Let's put a leader of this country that's above all democracy, and
Supreme Court, House, all of that.
House, all of it.
Right.
And they have to lean toward that individual and don't nothing. You get what I'm saying? You have that committee, somebody and whoever is with them, and they have that energy, then.
That type of power could be dangerous, though.
It could be dangerous.
I think that's why they choose multiple people to.
But it's dangerous anyway.
Yeah.
It's already dangerous and corrupt with all those people. It's already.
What about 2 or 3?
Well,
one person is a lot.
Well,
because one person can easily be persuaded, corrupted, or whatever, and into he needs some counsel.
That's why I said the group, whatever that team is.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But still, people above them, because you got people that's above the law. Now, and they corrupt. So, we've already seen that. Can we see something different? Can we have somebody that's above the law, that's good, that's going to change the system, that's going to change the law where it's beneficial for everybody?
Okay, let's use this as an example because good is subjective. What's good to you may not be good to me. Saying you're a good person, that can look like multiple different things because we all so different. So let's say abortion. You pro-life or pro-choice?
I'm pro-life. I'm definitely pro-life.
So somebody would say, well, you're not a good person because what if that woman is having all these, medical complications and she needs to have that choice to say if she want to rid it or not? Or what if she get pregnant, and have to live her life and carry a baby that she was raped with? So that's why I say it comes down to you probably not still gonna be able to satisfy everybody.
No, you're not. But for the most part, it's like the basic stuff. The stuff, okay, for instance, like you talked about how foreigners coming over here already got passports and stuff at the border. IDs for them already. If you create that, we're not going to be able to support everybody. I get that. You're not going to be able to support everybody. But if we make those basic fundamental laws, it's like foreigners can come over here and get $8,000-$9,000 a month. They can get housing.
Up in New York.
Businesses. But people that's been in this country slaving all their lives, they got to make 3-4 times the rent amount. Those types of things would be gone. Application fees, gone. Because that's a scam in itself. You get what I'm saying? Because that is a racket. Application fees, taxes, scam, just a whole bunch of things like that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Overall, the prices of gas, the prices of all taxes will be eliminated. Inflation, no, we're not getting ready. We're going to find out some type of system where prices don't get inflated, where people can get ripped off. And so even the product of these companies holding these major corporations and banks and different things to a higher standard, making them more accountable. Like corporations, like for instance, you go now to a store, right? You paying for a product that they up the price on, but you're getting less product. Sometimes you're getting like 3/4 of air in the bag of something and they've raised the price, or half a bag of something and they've raised the price. And so just stuff like that. But those things, they add up and they matter to a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I have to work and slave and I'm only bringing home 20% of what I pay because I'm paying it all to taxes. I'm paying it to tax on this, and I'm paying tax on the water, paying tax on the gas, paying tax at the pump, just different things like that. So I know you're not gonna be able to appease everybody. Some people may want taxes.
Yeah, in terms of the inflation, like, how inflation happens, it's the supply and the demand. So even you said it yourself, like, this next generation has become lazy. You was like, people don't want to go outside and start their own farms and grow fruits and vegetables. Okay, they raise the taxes on it. It's ways around that. Or, it's fruits and vegetables. You'll make the money to, to pay the tax. Supply and demand, especially since COVID. When COVID happened and nobody had to work for almost 2 years and got all that free money, did a lot of them go back to work? No, because they came up with other ways. Entrepreneurship, making money online. You got AI. You got a lot of things that didn't send people back to manufacturing and to factory jobs. So the supply is not there. But the demand is still there. So if I know 10 people want this last bottle of shampoo, am I going to drive the price up of it? Yes, I am, because now I only got one bottle of shampoo on a shelf because manufacturing and labor and the warehouse, workers have not come back from unemployment. So it's like I have to drive the price up because the supply is not there. Because what I would have made off of 10 bottles, I now got to try to make it off of one bottle. So when it comes to inflation and stuff like that, I think that has to come down to the responsibility, the accountability of the people to work and understand, like, you you have to have labor. Like, you've had your own business before. You had your own cleaning business before. So you know how it works. Like, I have to pay for the website to stay up every month. I have to pay for the equipment. I have to pay for my gas. I got bills at home. So you know how business works. So when it comes down to employees, you know, having to say, okay, we can only have this amount of work, so we can only have this amount of contracts, because we only have so many people that's willing to cover the labor. So of course we're gonna drive the prices up that we may charge for cleaning, because we only have so many people to get the job done.
Yeah.
So
I hear you on that.
It's only so many responsibility that you can put on the government or on the, you know, on whatever. We know capitalism is some bullshit. It's messed up. This country was built off of, you know, free labor. So we know. I'm just saying in terms of like the people actually taking responsibility and accountability to change, you know.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying, but then there's a flip side to that. And still going back to the corporations. How many people have Google fired?
What do you mean?
How many people have Amazon fired?
They fired tens of thousands of people.
Tens of thousands of people. These people are working. They want to work. But what's replacing them?
But that's also well, AI for one.
AI
for one, and so I do understand that. Like those are larger corporations. I was talking about we was talking about kind of other labor jobs and stuff like inflation.
Well, those are labor jobs. You know, people go to work. They work.
No, those are more technical jobs. That's not physical labor that they doing.
Well, a lot of them are labor. Like a lot of them physical labor. You know, here's the thing.
Because tech jobs are different from labor jobs. Tech jobs, you can get a computer to do it. Labor jobs, you need human hands to do it. Like put the shampoo in a bottle and make it and send it off and stuff like that. Google and Facebook can have a computer do what you do. No. I was talking about in terms of supply and demand because of inflation of products.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that a lot of these companies, people working in these warehouses, these products have to be shipped. And they had the manpower shipping and packaging in these boxes, put them up. You know, I used to work in warehouses, and that's what we did. They ship them off.
Yeah.
But if you got a machine that's able, inflation ain't got nothing to do with that. That's about keeping money in your pocket. So let's go back to farming.
Well, the machines are not completely there yet to replace the people just yet. Right now they're doing that because of the inflation of what's been happening since COVID, because a lot of people didn't go back to work. Remember COVID, you didn't see nothing on the shelves. The water was gone, the tissue was gone, everything was gone, because everybody was at home, nobody was working, so nothing was getting made. So a year after COVID, same thing. Very little stock and products was coming back and being replenished on the shelves because people weren't coming back to work. People still sitting at home collecting unemployment. People still sitting at home spending their PPP money. People, learn different ways to make money online. So they were actually using the AI in themselves so they don't have to go back to work, which is understandable. Use different ways. You got to feed your family. But in terms of complaining about inflation because certain things are not on the shelves, this is kind of like teenage jobs. Normally, this is what the teenagers that's coming up, that's what they would do. They would be in there stocking shelves. They would be in there, working at the McDonald's, or these are normally the jobs that they would cover. But now the kids, the teenagers, lazy, they can make money online, TikTok, streaming, making music, so that's what's causing this technological, era to start replacing people, because the people are not there. Honestly, when it comes to Google and Amazon, yeah, but like I said, that's more the technical side of it. I'm talking about the labor for the demand, the supply of the product side of it.
So let's talk from that perspective. So let's take Google and Amazon out of the equation. So before the pandemic.
Okay, before that.
Before the pandemic. Okay, when you went to your grocery stores, how many machines was replacing jobs?
It wasn't that much. Only one that had a lot of self-checkouts, it was Walmart. You didn't see a lot of self-checkouts like they are now today. And listen, over time, what do people do every time inflation happens? Ask for raises. They want to go on strike and demand raises and raises and raisins. Okay. So you, as a business owner, when you had your cleaning company, your people start demanding raises. Look, y'all, y'all have to understand, we making this type of money, but understand we still have to pay for X, Y, and Z. I still have to pay my salary. And I'm not saying these corporations are not greedy. Like, I completely get it. I know. But when we look at, you were a business owner, so you know, like, you asked for a raise, I gotta fire one of y'all. Cause like, I gotta give everybody a raise. And is that covering, like, because business is up and down. Most restaurants are in the red. Most restaurants hardly ever have a high profit margin. So certain businesses don't recover from those small losses that they take month to month. Most businesses don't succeed. They don't pass 5 years.
Yeah, you know, even going back to, it's all still part of a diabolical plan. The whole pandemic. Even things before that. Machine was already
planned by China, I already know.
So things was already planned. It's like even these Ford companies and these Chrysler companies, you know, you still have machines that was still doing stuff. You had manpower, you had machines, so working side by side. So this stuff has already been implemented over time. And so the pandemic just catapulted it on a whole nother dimension, a whole nother frequency. So now
way faster too.
Let's go back to, you say that, you know, we talk about the lazy, right? So now the diabolical plan is majority of people really stopped farming around the 80s. That
come from crappy food too, making people lazy.
The 80s, farming. Before the 80s, that's all people did. That's all they did was farm. And I'm sure for thousands of years, that's all they did was farming.
Yeah, since the beginning of time.
So now they come in with a system, create something to make people lazy. It's all part of the system.
In America, it only worked for so long because it was free labor. It was people that looked like us that was doing the farming to build this country.
And they was making hand over fist in money. Like all these companies, they have so much wealth and riches, they can pay people way more than what they're paying them. Easily. Easily they can do that, but they don't. Why? Because they about, it's selfish. At the end of the day, it's about greed. It's all about greed. Do they have to fire these people? No, they don't. They got money. These folk got money. They invest. These banks, it's our money that they invest. You know what I'm saying?
I know they don't have to fire 10, 20, 30,000 people at a time.
Yeah, they don't. Listen, it's all part of a corrupt cabal, corrupt system to enslave humanity. And who was that? Biden, he said, what they was talking about, they don't really want people to work. They want the government to take care of them. So they are putting things in place.
Who said that, Biden?
Yeah, so they was talking about that, like having the government to really just take care of you.
Who?
Own nothing and something like that. Own nothing or something like that.
What group of people? What they talk about?
Just people in general.
Oh.
They want you to, just to depend totally upon the government.
What do you think of that?
The slavery. That's a slavery. That's what they trying to create. They trying to create a slave.
You to be dependent upon them.
You dependent upon the government, the system, so they can control and shut down your money when you're not acting right.
So you think America should have never offered or never started government assistance at all?
Well, America hasn't been America since Nixon. What are you talking about? America has been corrupted and infiltrated with a virus. When
America
Nixon
was built off of just demonic.
I'm talking about just Nixon have catapulted America, you know what I'm saying, on a whole different vibration, different frequency. But let's go back to, the Rothschilds, times before that, when they came in, and when the Rothschilds, a foreign people, came in and infiltrated. And the plan was to infiltrate America. It's never been the same. So now you got foreigners who's been running the corporation and calling it America. The United States Corporation, in all caps, is a corporation. And so they've been running it like a corporation.
Yeah.
That's why our birth certificate, our names in all caps, and
yeah.
the way you go to court and the way you answer or not answer, respond, you become property of the system, the legal system.
America is a corporation.
Is a corporation. So, you know, all of that, if this country is not even being ran by the people who live here and by foreign powers, that itself, like Washington, D.C. is not even part of the United States. And so people are so conditioned and brainwashed, oh, Trump, January the 6th,
Yeah.
he did that to the Washington, D.C., but the Washington, D.C. is ran by foreigners. It's not even part of the United States. You know, if people did their research and Googled it, you know, the Washington, D.C., under the Vatican, the Queen, all that type of stuff. And
when you want to buy certain land, they'll tell you, I have to go call England.
Listen, it's all part of the, but they got people up in the uproar and thinking that, oh, Trump, he did this to the, but do you know that that was a foreign power that's have been running havoc and tyranny on this land and
for a minute,
for a long time? See, this is the stuff people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge because we won't do our due diligence or our research and having a comprehension of what's really going on. That's why they are allowing all these foreigners on the land, because you have foreigners who are running this country.
Who really got to say so.
Have to infiltrate this country and turn it inside out. That's what's really happening. So you got somebody like a Trump who is not a foreigner, who really
know what's going on.
It's like, let me shut this system down at the border, because he knew what was going on. Why? Because he's a shrewd businessman. He's been around these people.
And he ran a corporation before. And he know American is ran like a corporation.
And he know pretty much probably almost all these people, because he was a Democrat first.
Yeah.
He hung around all these politicians. They came to his hotel, his party, grew up with his kids, grew up with them. They grew up together. You get what I'm saying? So he know these people intimately. So now, I'm not a Trump supporter, but the facts are the facts.
About what he know. Yeah.
About what he know. And so like, no, I'm coming against this system. No, this is not, that's why he said, I don't agree with the statement.
Right.
When he say, let's make America great again. America has never been great.
It was built off of BS.
Yeah, it's never great, but we can make it better.
Make it America again.
We can make it, we can take back the republic, you know, United States of America Republic, and take it back to 1776 or whoever, or just create something totally different. A whole new narrative to make America great once and for all. You know?
And I went back and watched that movie on Netflix, Leave the World Behind.
Oh,
Yeah. I went back and watched that again, and then I thought about it, because I'm thinking when we first started the podcast, I was thinking, I had just watched it around that time, and I was thinking like, oh, this is probably something that's gonna come into the future. But when I looked at it, because we said when you talking about something, go back and look at it again. I'm like, this was COVID. This had already happened. Like, this was just somebody telling their point of view on what really happened. Everything shut down in the world. Everybody was trapped in their house, couldn't go nowhere, couldn't do nothing. And you get this message from a plane that says China, basically telling you that they did it. And the whole thing that they came to realize at the end was, basically, we gonna do this to this country, do whatever we gonna do, or whatever's gonna happen and transpire that's gonna cause everybody to separate, and eventually it'll be a country that'll turn against itself. Eventually everybody will turn on each other.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh. And then when you look at it, you got all the podcasts out here, all the men and women on the podcast talking about each other, about dating and relationships and marriage, and you got everybody arguing about just the politics and the candidates, and it's like, I'm like, dang, that's what transpired. Like, they basically just told the story of what just happened.
And from my comprehension about other countries.
And I don't mean to keep, I ain't China made the coronavirus and stuff, but you got to do your research so you know. Like, even if you think about it in terms of business, like single, if I'm like a real estate a person that's in real estate, like, if I want to like make money, do I make more money off of two single people or one married person, one married household, one married couple?
Two.
Yeah. So separation, single. I get to sell two houses now instead of one. So it's like that just across a lot of fields.
Hence, the welfare system was a diabolical plan to keep the family divided. Or we're going to come up with a system. We're going to give them money. Hear it again.
Even though we just took their jobs, we're
Yep.
going to give them some money, but only if you don't let him come live there.
The government try to give you and want you to own nothing and for them to take care of, just look at the welfare system. And so when a woman is on Section 8, she couldn't, at the time, couldn't have a man in the house.
Yeah.
And they did inspections.
And that was only a couple years ago because I was on low income. I
Yeah.
wasn't on Section 8, I was on low income.
Yeah.
And I got my rent subsidized. I paid like half my rent because I signed up to go to apply to these apartments and signed up for that program to get half off my rent. But they was like, can't nobody live with you. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yep.
And one of my neighbors snitched on me because she seen my boyfriend coming to my house. Or one of the leasing office ladies. I think it was a neighbor.
See?
Maybe it was the leasing office. Somebody was just like, oh no, we seen a guy said that he was moving a bed in. I said, yeah, I hired a mover to move my bed in for me. Like, oh, they say no, they seen him over there multiple times.
Yeah.
So, but I'm like, okay, whatever. So I ain't use it for that long. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yep.
So no, you don't want the government to take care of you. You gotta work.
And so that anything where the government is coming in to infiltrate whatever you have going on, you best believe there are strings attached. And no different than the welfare system, subsidized government assistance, low income bracket, no different than these churches who receive government funding. 501c3, you receive anything from the government, you are subjected to the things. Know this, every church, every organization that is getting money under the Vatican system, the England system, these foreign systems, which is called the government, you're going to be subjected.
You're going to do what the hell they want you to do.
That's why a lot of these, this is why, and some people wonder why, like, wait a minute, I remember back in the day, churches used to be standing up and they used to be out on the front line protesting and doing things because they have sold themselves. They sold.
That's because the church was being funded by the people, not the government.
Not the government. So now you see why these churches don't be coming and speaking up and saying nothing, because they're funded
at all
by the government.
They come collect money on Sunday and go home.
They're prostitutes. That's what they are.
Or they the pimp?
No, they the prostitutes.
Oh, they the prostitutes of the government.
The government is the pimp.
Yeah.
The Vatican is, the people who run the 501c3s. Yeah. The foreigners. They foreigners. Yeah. They have infiltrated this country. And yeah.
So what do you think we do going forward moving, since we know it's like a lot of foreign populations coming here now? And my son said, listen to this. My son said, when school started in August, he said, Mama, they got a lot of Mexican kids up on the third floor, because it's 3 floors, but they only use 2 of them. So on the third floor, he was like, they got a lot of Mexican kids in here. I'm like, oh, for real? And that just caught my attention. I'm like, oh, like this immigration thing is real, because we seen this going on in New York, but I'm like, okay, they coming. They at my son's school, in the Midwest. So he was like, they upstairs on the 3rd floor. And I'm like, okay, because they probably can't speak English yet. So when a break came, December had come, January just come. And he telling me about it too. My son, he a little messy. He be calling me gossip. He be like, Mom, tell me why, So he called me and was like, he was like, I like school more now because, and I make sure I keep him hip on all of this. But he was like, they sent all the bad kids upstairs. I said, bad kids? What you mean? Well, all the kids that's got in-school suspension, that's been suspended, and that fight, and that's always getting in trouble, being sent to the office, they sent them upstairs, and now all the Mexican kids are on the 1st and 2nd floor. They integrated with us. I'm like, oh, and this is an all-black school. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, so I be listening to Dr. Umar sometimes. So it just confirmed some stuff, and I'm just like, oh man, that's messed up. Like, you bring the population in, and then these kids get exiled.
Yeah.
out the classroom. Y'all pay attention to what's going on at y'all kids' school, because that is disgusting. First of all,
Yeah.
to deal with troubled kids like that. Like, come on now.
Yeah. Well, you know, like I said, that's one of the reasons why they wanted to get Trump out of there, and they don't want him to come back in, because he's the one that was foiling their plan.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people don't realize that, because people just go by what people say.
Oh no, let everyone come.
Yeah, and the same people, people.
Not understanding the bigger picture behind it.
The same people.
Trump like, look, I know what's going on.
Yep. Now look at y'all. The same people that was saying, no, Trump is wrong. These are humanity.
Building a
now
wall.
they in your neighborhoods. And now
Taking your jobs.
And now what? Now y'all saying, okay, Trump. Now you're recanting those things you said about Trump, and now you got more people that's voted for Trump because they're like, man, who is this guy that's in office right now? You know, they just put a puppet there, you know, and so a fall guy or whatever in office, and so I'm not saying that Trump is the all be all. I'm not saying that he's a good guy, but like I said, when you don't listen to what people say and what they write, and I start looking at reading the executive orders of a lot of presidents, you know, the past 4 or 5 presidents, and so I'm just looking at these people's executive orders, and I would say that the past 5, 6 presidents, Trump executive orders benefit humanity. You can't say that about Biden. I can't say that about Obama. You know what I'm saying? I can't say that about, because these executive orders have been toward another agenda.
It benefited a different group of people versus his. It benefited the other group of people.
Yep. So I would say before you judge, go do your research.
I don't know what I'm gonna title this one. Let's go ahead and close it out, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to the Soul to Soul podcast. I know we've been going and going and going and going, but we got y'all. Anything, whatever we want to talk about, drop some comments. Let me know if it's any topics that you ever seemed weird to you, or any type of experiences will help us out to keep the content going. Make sure you hit the like button, share the video, subscribe for future videos, y'all. We got more coming along. I think we good through, we got a nice good 15, 18 episodes. So yeah, we're gonna keep them coming, y'all. Thank you. Good positive energy and vibrations I'm sending your way, helping you heal your mind, body, and spirit. Go within. Okay, love you. Mwah.
Peace.